Boom. Good evening, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are and wherever you may be. My name is Samuel Davis III, and I am the host of Uplift Our Community podcast, powered by Bridge Visions. Well, this is the new year starting January 2nd. Just going to do a kind of a wrap up, look towards the future and a year in wrap up, and talk to the guys today about resolutions, New Year's resolutions. Do you do New Year's resolutions? How do you feel about New Year's resolutions? And are you going to set some kind of New Year's resolution? Um, my New Year's resolution wrap up and start is going to be, huh, mine's going to start with the fact that I made it. I made it to another year, and I'm very, very blessed and happy that I made it to another year. Been a lot of things going on in my household and in my community as well. Um, and when I sit back and I say to myself, resolutions, am I going to make a resolution this year? It was interesting because this year was a little different. I'm not really a person that texts people and say, "Hey, happy holidays" much. I do some, but I don't for the most part. But I seem like I got um, a lot of Happy New Year's, and a lot of holiday greetings coming in. It was interesting. It really was interesting because I've kind of been in a little funk lately, and I don't know if that's just the general situation in this country, but I've been in a little funk, and I was wondering. Sometimes I actually kind of wondered, should I even make a resolution and just forget the whole thing about resolutions, just move forward? And I say that because my thing is, as of lately, is just to keep shining my light. That's just what my thing is, to keep shining my light. I sit out and I go out and I got to put out what I want to receive from the community and out in the world in general. So do I make a resolution this year? I have some things that I'm going to do, and I have some things that I have accomplished last year. I started a gun club, and this gun club now, we are now nationally recognized, the Responsible Trigger Gun Club. I haven't even got the website together for this, but we are now nationally recognized. One of the gun clubs here in San Diego County, so I'm very happy about that. We are registered with the NAGA, which is the National African American Gun Association, National African American Gun Association of America. And to have that national recognition has been pretty awesome. Um, I'm going to bring the guys in because I don't know, resolutions. I don't know what you guys think about them. Do you guys have you made any? Gordon, Benji, tell me. Have you guys made any New Year's resolutions? You guys got anything that you're planning on setting into stone that you're going to get done this year?
Go on, go for it.
So when you first said that, my thoughts were, the traditional ideas. People want to, better themselves. They want to lose weight. They want to start a new thing. They want to do this. They want to get healthier. Usually, it's almost always around health, I think, for the most part. And from that perspective, I don't really consider the New Year's a time to like. I don't think about setting new goals for that because I feel like I'm just constantly growing, and for me to say, like in November, December, to say, I'll just make a resolution, I'm gonna let things go now. I'd rather not do that. I want to just keep going
Yeah.
and getting better. But I think, being that I work in the financial world, New Year's is a big thing, right? It's a
Mm,
big thing, for money, taxes, all of that kind of stuff. And I don't, I'm not a tax professional per se, but I do help people with taxes and things like that a little bit. And trying to get, contributions of certain kinds into certain vehicles so that they can make it by the New Year's, and when's the deadline, and can they do stuff after January 1st, and what applies to all of that. So that's something. And that's mostly for me, just trying to look out for my clients,
mm,
that give them a little extra, just a little little extra benefit for be working with me. And so um but as far as like the personal growth stuff and all of that, I don't do resolutions, I guess.
Huh.
Just kind of like you said, Sam, I just keep going. I keep pushing, keep trying to get better on a consistent basis because my challenge is I will say I'm probably my own worst enemy. Like I'm the one that
Mm,
holds back on certain things. I'm the one that, like you said, sometimes I'm in a good place emotionally, and sometimes I'm not, and it's not based on whether it's January, February. It's not based on our calendar.
mm,
So, and then as far as my faith stuff, our New Year's is until March, near the end of March. And so
all right.
that's something that we celebrate at that point. But that's, I guess that's, a roundabout way to say that not a whole lot going on for me on New Year's, really.
Mm, mm. Well, with that being said, Benji, what about you?
I think the same thing. I mean, I do have a theme of what I want to do, right? I have that part, and this whole last few weeks has been like reset, refocus, right, and stay within the lane of what we're talking about for last year. Now, one of the things that I accomplished last year, I was starting in February last year. I started writing a poem every day. I didn't
Mm,
quite do that, but I did almost. I'll say close to 9% of it. Like
mm,
I maybe missed a day or two here, but from February all the way to the end of the year, I wrote last year. And
mm.
like I mentioned on the WhatsApp, I actually wrote a song for Bridget Bardot on the last day of the year. That was
Hey,
part
and
of
that
it,
was a nice song too. I will let you
right?
know, Benji.
Right?
You were talking about before we discussed the whole thing with the
Mm-hmm.
frequencies and
Mm-hmm.
everything. That thing that you're doing with the AI and
Mm-hmm.
that music AI, man, there's some really relaxing stuff because I put it on and I
Yeah.
started replying to a text. And next thing I know, there's been like 3 or 4 songs that have just kind of slid through. And I'm like, hey, let me finish what I'm doing. And it keeps on happening
Yeah.
like that. And you're writing it in a certain code or a certain
Yeah.
frequency. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, it's my tone, right? So I know my tone, right? Like, but everything too is about programming, like your mind, right? Like your
Mhm.
mind is like a computer, right? So it's like you can program it to be peaceful, but you can be like the Hitler guy, right? The KKK. I mean, it's like aggressive. And
Mhm.
and don't get me wrong, I love Metallica, right? But oh my lord, some of those, oh my, I mean, it's like, I'm ready to go, somebody, I'm like, that's not a good thing.
Right.
But the idea was to tune my brain more, especially as you get older. And it's really talking about, like we're talking about, tuning our antenna to be close to hear our divinity, right? And so that was the whole premises of all these things I've been working through. So that was part of my last year journey. I was writing more and more of that, and also be accepting of making mistake, right?
Mhm.
Like, like, like when I did all those music, and it was so much like, and I purposely like I signed up with this program so I can't update the song. So literally, if I make a mistake on a song, I just gotta live with it, right? So I could have easily paid $20 to get an upgrade, but I didn't because I was like, if I keep doing that, I'm gonna keep rewriting and keep writing, and I don't want that. I want to get over that fact. So that was my thing to force myself. So this year is about focusing. It's focusing on the lane, meaning that I got too many lane that I want to work on. AI is one of them for sure. Music, and the other lane it's too is like what we're talking about. You and go and have a good team, and on Monday you do a teaching together. I had to find my tribe to do that. So
Mm.
like you say between 6 o'clock your time to 8:30 your time, so 8 o'clock my time, and eight, I'm going to find my tribe and do my study. And my study, and I didn't think about it, but we talk about this. You guys are Baha'i. I'm a Taoist. I
Mm.
practice Taoism. I got to go find my tribe and teach that, and also not just teach that, but learn from that. So that's what I got to work on, and that is probably my focus this coming year on that. And on the like the business side and all that, we know who knows, it's AI, right? So you go from there. Transition is going to be insane. The data center thing and all that is going to be insane, right? People got to be aware. You're building an atomic bomb here. You literally can just be destroying the world. You can actually evolve the world. So it's your choice. It's back to that same thing we were talking about: pleasure or peace. And this is something that as human, we have struggled with this, and I struggle with this all so often, you know. And so things like that, that's what I want to be more focused on. It's like focus on that, focus on peace, and focus on really being able to be accepting of who I am presently at this moment. You know, because I've man, the last 4 or 5 years, I've lost a lot of people, you know, and I'm sitting here going, I never thought I was going to outlive these people, and they're gone. I went and visited my dad at the National Cemetery in Dallas, you know, and he and I was never close, like, you know, in physical, but I got there, man, I was about bawling. I'm like, damn, I miss you, Dad. I really, truly miss you, because at this point, you like, I finally understood what he went through to provide for me and my mom, you know,
Mm.
and he was my stepdad, and he's just a modest guy, and really blue collar guy. But you know what? That's a very noble thing he did. He sacrificed his life. He sacrificed his pleasure to take care of responsibility. You know,
Mm.
that's a noble dude. A lot of people didn't do that. And so
Right.
I had to look at that hard, and especially in the last, 6 months or so, things, from the business and everything else. It's like, okay, I see what you have to do. I remember like what he has sacrificed to make sure that I get clothes to go to school and things like that. I'm like, you know what? I see that. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for being there for me. Thank you for being an honorable man. And
Mm.
and this is, and you go up military, you kind of like, I walk the cemetery. I'm like, oh my god, all these people are here, that service, and things like. And I will tell you, one of the moments changed my life so much. I went to Washington D.C. and went to the memorial. The the Oh my god, it just
Mm.
broke my heart of all those people that passed. And the
Mm.
wall of names is like, that just changed perspective. Like, like, wow. Like, these are what, Sam, you are. You guys are nourishing people, and I would never sacrifice like that. I never have done that, and that's why I always been respectful for people like yourself and things like that.
Oh, Benji, well, I'll say, man, you just dropped a boatload of stuff on us. I mean, man, I think it's really great that with what Gordon and I do on Mondays, our study group, I think is amazing, and the fact that you want to emulate that and try to match that time, I think that's really cool. The thing that seems to me, and this has probably been our ongoing conversation, probably the last few conversations that we've had all together here. Legacy. That seems like the ongoing thing. You mentioned losing a lot of people, as I mentioned, with us being caregivers here. Man, I'm not saying that life and death is in my face, but it's literally in my face.
Mhm.
Every
Yeah.
day when you're caregiving for someone,
Mhm.
there's a certain level of empathy that goes out. I know that we were talking about, and I'm going to kind of steer us back, because I know we were talking about New Year's resolutions. That resolution that you mentioned, trying to find another a tribe out there for you, that's
Mhm.
amazing. That's amazing. I don't know how you're going to do it, and I don't know, especially when you mentioned all the gunshots
Yeah.
during the
There's a
holiday season.
yeah.
How are you going to keep them? But
There's a few of us here. We don't shy away from that. We grew up here. It's kind of like when we get the noise. It's like,
mm,
you understand, like you mentioned, it's like you know that culture, you know what it is that feed them, and you also know that when I also see the good side in them too,
mm,
because during the really difficult time, the tornado season, the hurricane season, and all that, they'll drop everything. They drop everything and help each other out.
mm,
I see that part of it. I've seen it so many times, and then everything's back okay. Then we back being neighbor again.
mm,
It's just, I know that there is that beauty they have, and they shield that when, I don't know why, but when things like that happen, because we have a lot of bad weather here, and so when that happened, we just count on each other, and we just kind of like pause the grudges and pause the hate, and just get through this as a community, and then we can fight later. It's like we're like, it's like brother and sister. You know what I mean? It's like okay, let's just hold off for a second. Let's take care of family first. And
Hey,
then we can
hold
get-
on now. That
yeah.
whole fight later thing, I don't know about that, man.
but that's how we are here. So I remember this part. But what I'll tell you this, and I mean this in the most sincere way. I understand it, and they're sincere about that. They're authentic. When I go to places like Dallas, like the uptown Dallas, uptown Houston, they're not authentic. I can't distinction them, right? So there would be like, this is what we were talking about the thing about business and things like that, right? So let's like you like let's pivot for a second. I want to talk about this. You know that thing going on in Minnesota, right?
Mhm.
You know all that thing going on in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Do you know who ended up with the money, right? You have an idea, right? It's not the Somalian people. It's the people that allow that, right? So what I'm saying is that even business, like all these people are running the show, they are not the one that actually profiting all this. There's only a few people that profit from that. So that's what I'm saying. At least I know these guys are sincere.
Mm,
You
mm,
know,
mm.
I know that when things get tough, they at least have my back. I know these guys won't. The business people won't.
So, well, I want to ask Gordon, with business wise, how was business a mindset that you have with this? I'm kind of bringing in with we were talking about how we were mentioning. Oh my goodness, I'm losing train of thought. We were talking about resolutions. Do you have like an output for you, like for your business plan for the year? I mean, because I know what you do early in the morning, but your side gig, I guess, would you consider your financial thing your side gig? Is that what you consider? And do you have any plans for the future for that?
Yeah. I mean, so you guys know I work at Costco in the morning, and that that provides a steady paycheck and insurance for the family and all of that, all the benefits. But I'm only part time there, and then the rest of the day is for my financial services business, where I have clients and I help my clients. And so that started off just me wanting to learn about money for myself and my family so that I could be better prepared to take care of my family. And then when I first started off on that path, I never thought of it as being something that I could do business wise. And so the more I learned, the more I wanted to share that with others, because it's, financial education is just not very common, and so that's where I started doing that. And so now that's what I do. And I have clients. I mean, I have clients all over the country. I'm licensed in multiple states. And so the end of the year is a big thing, because a lot of what I do is I help people save money for retirement. And when you're saving money for your retirement, you have to think a lot about taxes. You have to think about what kind of vehicles do you want to put the money in? Do you want to put it in money that's going to be taxed today, or do you want to put money in stuff that's going to be taxed later during the retirement years? And so, that end of the year thing, that end of the year time is a big time for that. And again, as far as the taxes goes, I'm not like an attorney or anything like that. And I have connections where I can refer my clients to them, but I'm very open and transparent about not being a professional in the tax business. I'm just learning and I'm sharing with my clients. And so it's just an extra benefit. But for me and my business, right now I have the flexibility to where Costco still helps me provide for my family. And then the clients that I take on, I can easily say, sorry, I don't think that I'm a good fit for you. And I can turn away any clients that I think don't match what I am trying to do with my business. And so, there is growth and I am constantly growing. But I wouldn't say I'm marketing it and advertising it traditionally, where I really want to, completely phase out of Costco and go full time in the business. I did at the beginning, but not so much anymore. I really appreciate the flexibility, and I really appreciate being able to turn away and say, sorry, I don't, it's instead of me trying to jump through hoops, helping clients do something that is not tied to what I'm passionate about as far as money and financial education goes, I can easily say, sorry, you know what? I think you're better off reaching out to so and so, reaching out to this person, or this industry within the industry, and to get the answers that you want. That's not something that I do, and I don't have to, do stuff that I really don't want to do. And so it lets me focus on a very niche industry within the financial services industry, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Let me ask you this: if perfect world, and Costco's your day gig, and you got the financial thing on the side, what would be your what do you want to do? That sounds like
that's a great question. So perfect world would be where I continue to grow. I'm building passive income out of that, and continue to invest, and between my financial services, income that I develop over time, and then other investment opportunities that I'm working on, develop enough passive income where I can easily walk away from Costco if I ever wanted to, and not be tied. I want to be free, basically. I don't want to be tied to any one thing and say, I have to get up in the morning every morning to go do that, because otherwise bills are not going to get paid. And I'm not there yet, right? But at some point, the idea is to have enough passive income where bills are getting paid, families getting taken care of, everybody's happy and healthy, and I can easily choose what I want to do and have time freedom, I guess, if you want to call it that. Control of my time.
Okay. Real quick, I just want to say I saw that since we've been going live, I saw about 3 people show up in and out. I have a live QR code here. If in case anyone jumps in here, you can actually shine in, check that QR code, and jump right into the studio audience, and we can bring you in. That's
is it on YouTube, or where is it?
This actually will come right through directly into our studio. So if they use the QR code that I have that you can see right now, if they shine in that, I don't know how it works, but I know when I was logging in a couple of weeks ago, they added a feature, and I was like, oh, cool. So we can actually have people jump right in and come right into the studio audience. With this setting I have right now, I think I can get about 10 people right now, but I'm gonna make this a habit that I always do, shine this thing up in here. And you can make QR codes for anything, because I actually have this QR code is a join our studio, but I also have one. This one here takes you directly to Uplift for Our Community website. So once these come in, once we get going, I can just turn them on. But I see now we've lost everybody. And
it's all good. It's okay.
Some people are going to come back in again.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
the thing is, it's gonna slowly grow. And keeping with that being said, I have this titled a Look Towards the Future Year Roundup. So Benji, I think you told us pretty much, and I think that was I'm not going to use the word ambitious, and I think that was very good what you mentioned about trying to find your tribe to match our times. I want to ask, I guess I asked Gordon, and then future wise, for your creative side, there's a creative side to Gordon. Where do you see that going? Because Benji's been, I know you've seen the app. Benji's been putting music out like every other day. So he's like, check this out. I mean, Benji, we'll get on Benji and his creative side. But what do you want to do with your creative side? I know you're doing the Reaper graphics. Is that what they call it, or is that called Reaper graphics, or the shirts?
I do. I mean, I do some. So I do some graphic design. A buddy of mine and I used to own a print shop in Escondido years and years ago. And since then, I've had clients that do not want to go elsewhere. So I continue to do their graphics for them. But it's just a small handful of clients that I do graphic design, video editing, and things like that, marketing and advertising and things like that. And the smallness of it keeps it, again, where I can hand pick and choose who I want to work with. Again, it's not something I advertise. I don't advertise it or market it all. The
Right.
financial services I do. I do, social media marketing and things like that. The graphic design I don't advertise. It's literally all word of mouth, and I just have a small handful of clients that I've had for 10, 15, 20 years, some of them.
Mm.
And so I do that. I don't have that's not something that I'm working on it becoming a major contributor to my living as far as earning income. It just mostly allows me to be creative, and I have clients again that I've worked with so long that we have such a great relationship that they come to me and they say I need this, and then I have like basic complete creative reign where I can do exactly what I want to do. I understand the concept they're trying to convey, and they trust me to do exactly what I need to do, and we do it, and it allows me to, it's like a creative outlet for me, right? And then I do my own, my own video editing, my own logos and graphics and things like that for my website and for any of my advertising and all of that. I'm just because I have that experience, I'm fortunate enough that I can do it on my own instead of hiring out and paying somebody else to do that. But as far as creativity in general goes, outside of like the graphics and the marketing and advertising, all of that, I want to focus creativity on the community. I want to focus creativity on, making our community a better place. The app that we're building on, I think we just found a solution to make the video uploading work, and so that's coming together really well. And that's where I'd rather focus creativity on just making this world a better place, starting in our city in Oceanside, and then from there, if it grows outside of Oceanside, that's even better, right? But it's really that grassroots perspective of uplifting our community, like your sweatshirt says,
Right.
and and I think that you have to be creative for that, and you have to be able to think outside of the box to be able to offer solutions when things aren't 100% right in the neighborhood or in the community.
So let me ask you, with your sons, do you have any one of your sons that you see that's kind of emulating you a little bit, that's kind of following what you're doing, or
well, so my oldest is he's actually not working right now. He went back to get his master's in social work. And so he does. So he prior to going back to doing his master's, he was working in a place where they take care of foster youth, and he's a social worker. And so now he's going to get his master's, and that's going to allow him to work his way up a little bit more on the ladder as far as social work goes. Another one of them actually wants to get into law enforcement, so that's like not anything like what I'm into or anything like that, and that's cool. We're working towards that, and he's getting ready to get into the Explorer program here locally, and then from there his goal is to become an Oceanside police officer. And the next one down is so I think he's a little more interested in like finance in general. He wants to become like a bookkeeper, and he wants to learn business, and yeah. So, and they all have, like, on the creative side, they all have creative ability. Like, they all draw. One of them likes to produce music, make beats, and things like that. And so there's that creative side also that's in there as well.
Do you got the music bug in you at all?
No, not really. No, I've
just
never
just an aficionado. You just like the music. You just
yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big fan, but as far as making music, it's not something that I've ever gotten into.
Yeah, that's a big one. Well, we got our outside of Dave, who usually comes in here. He's not here with us. The live musician that we have. We got Benji here, who's our, I don't know what we want to call you, our Picasso of music. Well, I don't know what you're going to call you, because you're putting the music up. What is your ultimate goal with your music, Benji? What's your ultimate goal?
Honestly, it's really for me to tune my brain. So most of the work that I have is really to tune my brain. It's really all I come down to. the other thing too, a lot of the work to come out, it's been sitting dormant in my head. It's like it have to come out. Like
Mm,
I have an idea, I have it's got to come out, right? It's like I have like a vision or something, it got to come out because it's just sitting there too long. And then when I hear music, when I hear a term, it's something for me to create. But for me personally, it was really to tune my antenna so I can hear my divinity again. These are the things I'm really working toward. But refocusing what I can do, because we understand that the mind is powerful, but if it's not tuned properly, it's not going to be worth anything.
mm,
And I've been good enough, but I still have more gear to go and things like that. And one of the things my friend that passed taught me, and my kids too, like they maximize their gift and resource. I
mm,
I haven't done that yet, and so that's what I'm really really working on. And things like that. You would hear with athlete, right? Some athlete got it a little bit easier, and then when they get into the big league, they couldn't grind, right? And that's what I had to do. Some of
mm,
those people were talented, they're so young, but they never learned how to, if things get really hard and really fail, how do you get over it and things like that. I
mm,
had to learn that late. And so that's
mm,
what I'm doing at this point. And so, but in order for me to really, really maximize everything, I got to tune my brain. That's what works me the most because it worked really, really, really fast. And so
mm.
sometimes it's just too overwhelming. So the ADD thing is for real, but the
Yes, it
thing is,
is.
but I don't take medication because I think it's wrong. I think it's
Yep.
like just because it's coming in that volume, you should be able to thread it. Just like a
Mhm,
computer would. It's
mhm,
threaded. Instead of that, people, they dominate it with medication. I'm like, we're not
right,
doing that. I mean, it's like this is a natural gift, right?
yep,
So how do I tune that? That's a key thing, right? It's
mm,
just like an instrument and anything else. And
mm,
my brain is that. Now, my brain is trying to control what we are. It's like that's not the idea. The idea is we're supposed to steer the boat in the bus. The brain was doing that for us to keep us surviving, which is great. I survived the jungle, but I'm not in the jungle anymore. Not
mhm,
not the Thai jungle anyway.
mm,
So it's my turn to flip that switch around, and that's what really we went through with Landmark, man. Once
mm,
once they took once they took off the cruise control, oh, it's over, man. I knew immediately. I literally popped that clutch. I'm gone. I'm like, okay, I got you now, and there was some hiccup, there was some bump here and there, but I got this. So I
mm,
understand what needs to be done now. And so now it's up to me to do it. And that's the idea. So when I mention about finding my tribe, is they're gonna be the same people I am. They're gonna
mm,
have the same feeling I have. They're gonna go through the same thing I'm going through. It's like, okay, you hit this bump. What did you do? You
mhm,
know, how do you get around that one, right? And so that's gonna be that. And I'll find it. There's people in Dallas who like this, right? Things like that. And even the rednecks here are like that too. So I mean, some of them are that way.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you because, like I was telling, Gordon, matter of fact, was that so we just had a feast just recently. When was that? Wednesday? Right?
I think
I
so.
so this was my first Christmas that I did not celebrate as a Christian,
Mm.
and I went full on, Baha'i, and it was like, and I don't know if I remarked it to you, Gordon, or someone, man, with a Baha'i mindset and not the Christian mindset. Boy, let me tell you, those Christians, they sure are into buying stuff and selling. Oh my gosh, man. It's like Christmas, it's like the pressure of purchasing and buying and I sit back there and I've been going to myself, okay, now here this is. God is supposed to have been this man who walked amongst the people, and he was born in Bethlehem, kind of like an immigrant in a foreign land, and all these things that are going on that are supposedly Christian values, and they're not being respected and reserved, and they're not being respected as a Christian with what's going on in this country. And everyone's claiming that this is a Christian country, and all the immigration stuff that's going on. It is frustrating, absolutely frustrating. And I'm like, I've made the right move made the right decision to the right religion that is current and is lively and it speaks to me right now. And that's I want to I'm saying that because I want to bring this up to you, Benji.
Mm.
where are you going to look at? Have you Taoism in your area in Texas? Is that something that's
No,
big? I
no,
mean, do you have to
no,
really put out a
no.
major radar to get that?
Yeah, it will, but it's also vibrational, right?
Mm,
When I vibrate properly, the right people will show up because they're not going to know what Taoism is. Most people don't know what that is.
mm,
But if I tell them about this book, I'm like, yeah, meetup.com for sure. But if I say Tao Pu, they're gonna go, what does that mean? Like, go read
mm,
that book, you know.
mm,
And so it's like you literally telling the story of Taoism through children book, right? That's how I learned, right?
mm,
And then they're talking about the vinegar story and things like that. And because every religion have constraint, practice doesn't, right? It's like martial art. It's different for everything, right? So Taoism is like a martial art in a different way. It's like where karate is really forceful, kung fu is more, all that. So
mm,
no different than each of these religion, right? So like what for you work for you. But like for me, I actually love Christmas, but I don't buy into the buying thing. I love experiences. Like I know I told my granddaughter, I want to have dinner with you. I want to talk to you without my phone.
Mm.
You know,
real.
I
It's
want.
real talk. It's real talk.
Yeah, yeah. It's like let's go have dinner. Let's have champagne. Let's do what like a human do. I went and met my daughter Brittany's like, let me take you out for your birthday. Let's do this together. It's like let's just be a human.
Mm,
And things of that nature. It's like buying gift and stuff comes and goes. It doesn't last. Like those things are going. My mom have all those rings and stuff when she passed.
mm,
Nobody cares. It's like I don't even know where they are. And we
mm,
spent thousands and thousands on those dumb things. I have no
yeah,
idea where they went to.
yeah.
I'm like, it's like it her whole life. She just hold on like crazy for that.
Mm,
Yeah, I would tell you, I have one piece that I kept all my life was this little thing here because it was given to me when I was born. So this thing
mm,
is old as I am. So this is the only piece I have any like value to. It's like one of the saint for safe travel for Catholic saint, and I got that in the Catholic Church. I was back in near Asia, right? So that's really all I really have. Everything else that, but the commercialism of Christmas is getting really absolutely just
oh,
ridiculous. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, well, and I mean, I love the break. I love all that, and celebrate. But when I was like in my 30 and 40, I used to go to mass on Christmas Eve. That was our tradition. Nobody
mm,
does that now. I'm like, and I'm like, I'm not going to go out there in the middle of the night and get shot at. At any point,
no, no,
you know?
no. You're right. It's there is a level of again, my in-laws are 80, 89, and 90 years old. And when she comes into the house, it's like she greets everyone. She speaks, "Hey, how you doing? How was your day today, son? How did you?" And sometimes you want to. I got things to do. I'm trying to hurry and rush.
Yeah,
I gotta hurry.
Mm.
We gotta make dinner tonight. We gotta
yeah,
sit down at dinner. We have a
yeah,
conversation. Well, what did you do today, son? Oh, well, mom, I did this. And it's
yeah,
like it's so almost slow. It's like when I went to go visit Hawaii. Like man, Hawaii's beautiful, beautiful state, but you talking about that slow island life where
Mm.
everything is just, hey, ease up, bro, chill out, bro. I think
uh,
California is laid back, but Hawaii is very laid back. Now it's a little bit more. It's very touristy,
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
more touristy than when I first time I
yeah,
went there.
yeah,
But it's just people don't take time to breathe and communicate no more.
yeah, and
And that slow island life it's a necessary thing sometimes, and it's if you're going fast all the time
yeah,
and you hit that barrier where you meet somebody or something
yeah,
like again I mentioned my father is
mhm,
89 years old, and when he speaks he has to
mhm,
process, he's got
yeah,
to think, he has
yeah,
to speak slowly, and I'm kind of like I'm hurry up, it's like scratching the
yeah,
walls driving me
yeah,
crazy, and I'm like, you know
yeah,
what, but I've just learned to be patient,
yeah,
and it's been something that I've learned a lot as far as what like you mentioned, just take that time,
yeah,
slow down,
yeah,
breathe, be in the moment, and be with whoever that you're with, because you never know how important it is to that person that you're with too as well.
yeah,
And you don't even know when's the last time you might see them.
yeah.
So
And I will tell you that like my everybody knows me. Like my friends know me. It take me like if we have like a vacation or dinner thing, it take me a day to decompress before I can even engage with you because I
Mm,
come in hot, right, from
mm,
business meetings and stuff like that. And if I'm not off my phone, it's like Brian and I would go fishing for like a week sometime. That's the only time I would get to break is to go fishing for 1 week, right?
mm,
That's every year, and the 1 week is for him, so that
mm,
I get there, give me 2 days to decompress
mm. Wow.
before I can engage, right?
Wow.
And that's been like that. And then when I go out with like even my person or go with the kids, I would go like I was in Brooklyn, Tennessee. I
Mm,
flew off. I got off the plane. It take me a day just decompress before I can meet her
mm,
because she knows that I could. I'm just not there, right? And it's
mm,
just like there's, and she understand that. And
mm.
but if things, it's because it's like from business, it's not pleasant. You coming down from this, this drama. I mean, I'm on the phone all the time. I'm on Teams, Slack, you name it, everything.
Right.
And it's 24/7. People are offshore, onshore, and it's hard to. And I don't know, like I don't have kids and stuff like that every day. I don't have people like you to take. There's no way I could have done that. So like that's what I'm saying. I have dogs that had daycare. They've been in daycare for 4 years, right?
Mm,
Because I just don't have to. It's like I better have time for me to go to the bathroom, much less walk them, right? I'm like, but I'm not going to give them a bad life just because I couldn't do something. Now,
right.
when I was younger, I did all that. I had a rescue shelter. I had like 12, 15 dogs at one point, right? But it just wore me down, right? So I
Mm,
was not good. So this is what I'm saying. Everything in season of your life have changed. Mine have changed. Now, some went good and some not so good. So I'm going to work on the bad stuff and get better with that. That's every year. So when we're talking about resolution, every year is about that. It's
mm,
about reconnecting with that, the good part of my root system, which
mm,
was Taoism. That was my thing, right?
mm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I want to say this. Have either of you taken a Briggs Myers test?
Hmm.
So Briggs Myers is a personality test, and that's
Oh,
something that I've taken. It's a free test. It's a free test. I see we got Denise Ben say, "What are we talking about here? What's going on, Denise? How you doing?" Yeah, I would recommend what I'm going to do in our chat group. I'm gonna send a link if you guys take this Briggs Myers test. It was
okay.
probably one of the most effective. I think it's maybe 45 to 90 questions. I forget what it is.
Mhm.
Um, it gave me such a good insight into who I am, and what it is if you get to read whether I'm extroverted or I'm outroverted or Myers Briggs. Thank you, Denise. I see that. Um, when I took that when I took that when I took that test and I read it that I was a extroverted invert. I was an extroverted invert or introverted extrovert. It was crazy, but it made a whole lot of sense for me because there are times like what you were mentioning, Benji. There are sometimes I go out, I need energy, and then there's other times I need to give energy. And there's times when I go out there, sometimes when I go out there and there's just too much energy around me, I can't take it, man.
Mhm.
It's frustrating. There was a time I was going to go to a local football game here, Oceanside versus El Camino. That's a local thing here. That's a big thing around here.
Big thing.
And I'm
Yeah.
driving to the game, and as I'm driving towards the game with my wife, all of a sudden we're coming up from the up the freeway, and I see the lights on at the school, and I'm driving up, and I'm looking, and I'm like, man. And I started thinking about the people that were going to be there, who I'm going to encounter, and all of a sudden it just got heavy on me.
Mhm.
It got really heavy on me, and I was like, I can't go home. I can't go. Let's just go home.
Mhm.
I couldn't go. It got really heavy. So when I took that test, it just told me a lot of things about how I am, how I feel, how I approach things. It's really something. It helps you understand how you're naturally wired. That's what Denise says, and that's the
Mhm.
truth. It's something that I'm going to put it in our link. It's something I recommend. Just
Mhm.
give it a shot, check it out, and then what I do is I first took it. I can't tell you how many years ago it was, but I try to take it every couple of months just to see whether I'm still the same, and I'm still the same. But what it is what I never realized was I'm empathic, And the empathic aspect is what is the part that eats me the most. I feel, and a person that's in feel, at least for me, being in feel sometimes,
Mhm.
it drives you crazy. It
Yeah.
literally, when you go out, you're feeling what's going on. You're in touch with people. You start. I can't put a word to it, but I just feel. And it's amazing when you actually get a hold of and you get an understanding of who you are, and that's what that step put me on that path. Now, Benji, July we plan on going to Orlando to this to the Avatar course. That one course was one that really changed things for me. And
Mm.
and we'll discuss more about that later on. But the Briggs Myers is a great way to get started into that
Yeah.
and opening up things. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, and
For sure.
Denise says here, and how people perceive you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Denise.
Yeah. No. I get that. But the whole thing of like for me, I know like I'm type A. I'm because I'm a business guy. Right? I'm type A. And that right there tells you I'm not as good as going to be a good leader because that right there essentially I'm a bully, right? And that's what happened, right? You got to
Wow.
understand that's what we are. And
Mhm.
so we are the business owner, we are this, but the thing is, you learn to be kinder as you get older. You
Mhm.
learn to be more humble as you get older, and
Mhm.
you learn to be a better team player as you get older.
Mm.
When I was 20 and 30, there is no way, man. I'm like I would drag you to the fish line, which I've done. And as a Tony Robbins was like, no, like
Mm.
you gotta let them finish. I'm like it, and I'm like, and so that to me, I'm going to take the test for sure. It's kind of like I'm pretty sure that that's what it's going to come down to. But the one thing I've learned as I got older is to be a little bit less humble and let people, be able to learn on their own pace because it's different for everybody. And
Mm.
and part of it is when you get older, your body changed. I didn't realize how much my body changed. I'm 60. I'll be 62 this year. Like, oh my lord, I'm like, how am I going to do this, right? Because
Mhm.
we did that firewalk thing and the climbing thing and stuff. There's
Mhm.
no way I'm doing that right now.
Mm. I
We
hear that. I
we climb the telephone pole and everything else to do that jump. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, no way I'm doing that jump ever again.
Hey, though, there's that one statement by Muhammad Ali. Said that if you still think and doing the same things that you did 25 years ago, then you haven't grown.
Exactly,
And I'm kind
exactly.
of paraphrasing that, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's
it's
kind of how it
true.
goes. If anybody is online and they'd like to jump in and join the chat, we have the QR code right up in here. If you shine into that, you can actually come into the audience and we can bring you into the studio and bring you in to join the conversation. Otherwise, you can just stay from outside and pay attention. Listen to what Denise says. I used to work for Tony Robbins. Well, so did Benji. Benji used to work for him as well too, and he used to travel with them. And I don't even, I can't even speak on what you used to do that. Ben, do you want to speak on that?
No, I
Tony
was an
Robbins?
intern. I did the internship when he was before he was Tony, before he can actually pay us. So I was way back in like maybe 89, 90 time frame when I was with
Mm,
Tony. So he was up there in Venice Beach and stuff like that. So we didn't just before he exploded back then. So we helped him set up the workshop and things like that. And I
mm.
was literally one of the groupie that kind of went along with them and went to everywhere with him. God, we went to Hawaii, middle of time, Palm Springs, everywhere. We did the
And
firewalk.
you say you were a groupie?
Basically, we were a groupie with them for a long time, man.
I just
So
want to
yeah,
make sure I got that right. I heard
yeah, yeah,
groupie and Benji. I just
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Yeah. Hey, I was a hippie back then, man. I was definitely a little punk groupie back then. Flower
well,
child.
before we go, because I had to get I got to get Gordon back in here because we
Yeah.
were discussing a lot of different things as far as growth, Gordon. Um, we want to go out for the end. We want to go out. This is the year roundup.
Yeah.
Where have you went this year? Because Denise, the subject that we were having was a look towards the future and the year roundup. And Gordon, I was going to ask you, where do you think, looking back this past year, in areas where you have grown personal?
Mm. So this year was tough. This year was so part of it was trying to do new things. We're trying to launch the mobile app, and I thought it was going to be easier than it turned out to be, and so that was its own thing. And then losing family was really tough, and that was kind of hard. And having to go back to New York and take care of family stuff out there. My first holiday season without, certain family. Um, and so I think it just kind of put things in perspective. It allowed me to, because when you're getting ready to lose somebody who's really important to you, because they're not well, you you think you're going to react a certain way. And talking about Sam, you're talking about getting to know yourself better, right?
Mhm.
You don't really know how you're going to react to something until it happens, and I was, prior to the loss, I was very selfish and very, self-centered, and thinking
Mm,
about what is that going to do to me, what I'm going to, this is going to be something that I'm going to experience loss and whatnot. And afterwards it was totally different. And so it was hard. I'm not going to say it wasn't hard. It was very hard, still is hard, but it has really allowed me to, like, yeah, I think just put things in perspective and realize that it was what it was, and look for the good. Like, I'm, prior to it, just thinking about it, it would upset me, and now thinking about it, it was like, that person needed that, and
mm,
they were in a bad place, and things were not getting better, and they needed that. And so I think overcoming challenges has been a big thing for 2025
mm,
and 2026. um I think in general I'm always excited over the future, because one of the things that I try to focus on is just getting stronger. And if I'm getting stronger, then things are going to get better, right? Because the challenges that used to be difficult are not as difficult anymore. But that also means that there's going to be new challenges coming, right? And so instead of, um I guess, instead of, like, negatively anticipating challenges, I almost want to. I look forward to them. Like, let's see, bring it on. I hate
mm.
to say that right now,
No,
but
no, that's what's up. That's what's
but
up.
bring it. Like, what do you
Yeah,
got? And I always
there
think
you
about
go.
God. I think God is. If you think about God being unconditionally loving, then everything coming at me is love, even
Mm-hmm.
if it's hard. And so I just have to. You talked about creativity. I got to be creative. I got to be a problem solver. I got to lean into these things, and that's kind of. I think that's where 2025 put me in perspective for 2026 and beyond, right?
Mm.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay, well, but man, I appreciate that. Hearing that from you, Gordon. I know you're a creative dude. I know that you're definitely out in the community. That I do know. Um, I've been curious as far as how you are. I guess we'll have to go out another time about how your approach to your sons. And to me, it has always been amazing how we're talking about legacy, but I've
Mm,
seen how you passed on, and I haven't seen you directly with your sons. I just catch the activities that your sons do, and it
mm,
to me is just it's amazing the work that you put in there. Again, I haven't seen you physically hands on what you do to your kids, but but the results, the fruits from your tree, the
mm,
fruits from your tree. I mean, that says it all. That says it all.
mm.
And passing the baton over to Benji here, because Benji's been talking about legacy. And what he's leaving out there with in the world. He just came back from Nashville recently, visiting his daughter. But go ahead, Benji, tell us what has happened for you. Where as a year roundup, where have you changed? What has changed for you, and what has worked for the better for you and for yourself?
I think this year is like we talk about. This is the ending year for a lot of people, the new beginning for a lot of people, right?
Mm.
So for me, this is the final chapter for this particular book. There's a new book coming out next year, and so this is the reinvention of everything because AI is here. My ability to express is even more clear and more focused because of that, and so that's part of it. That's part of it. And the thing about leaving behind this year is all that desire to thrive so much in professional, that really doesn't satisfy me anymore, because I've done all that already. The question is, how do I thrive with my personal life, with my kids, my grandkids, and just be authentic with you guys is important to me because a lot of things that I lived through and things like that. People doesn't realize because I put a wall against that. I share with you, Sam, more than anybody in a long, long time. You know, and I haven't been able to do that with another male in a long, long time, and that's important. I want my grandson to hear all this. I want him to see all this, and also want my granddaughter to hear all my work, my writing, and things like that. And she just texts me and say, "How you doing?" Things like that. You know, that's important to me. That's a legacy that I want to live. It's like I would like to be like my stepdad. You know, not so
Mm,
much thriving, but be honorable. An
mm,
honorable man that show up, be there for them, you know?
mm.
You know, these are things that I'm looking forward to. I'm excited about 2026, be honest with you, because I'm seeing, oh, man, you know, I got new growth from technology point of view. I got new growth coming in a way of personal wise, and
Mhm,
I'm reconnecting with my roots system again with Taoism. I mean, I'm like,
mm.
I keep hearing that, and then just those 3 lines, just focus. That's
Mm.
it, no more, you know?
Awesome,
And then at this point, shut up and do. That's it.
awesome, awesome. Well, listen, with that being said, another hour has came and went.
All right.
I just want to let folks know we are here on Fridays from 2 until generally for about an hour. And anyone who's looking right now, there is a QR code right above my head. I don't know if I can point it directly. If you link into that, you can actually come into the studio and we can actually come in live. Depends on what the subject is. I don't know what's being shown to you. This week's conversation was about a look towards the future. And we have Miss Benz wants to jump in here. Let me.
I don't know what's being shown to you.
Hey, how you doing there, Miss Denise? How you doing?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Well, welcome in. You're our first call-in guest that we've ever had here. Welcome.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Let me tell you. So we have been doing this since last year. It started with Benji and I and Gordon and I. Last year, we started trying to do something once a week,
Oh
and we're
my
here to
gosh.
uplift everybody. Every Friday, we get in here and we just talk about things positive and try to uplift each other.
I
This year
love
is
it.
our big push to go live, and we are trying to bring in as many people as we can. And our whole thing is just about being positive and uplifting our communities wherever we go,
Come on
wherever
now.
we may be. So
Yes.
thank you for coming in. And Benji over here is one of your Tony Robbins friends or brothers or brethren. So speak
Yes.
up about yourself, Denise, and tell us about yourself and how your weekend has been and how your year has been.
Okay. So my name is Denise Benz. Nice to meet you, Benji. And it's so funny now that I'm like looking at you and saying your name, like I feel like I remember hearing your name before. If you had volunteered at events back in the day, I'm sure that our paths have crossed. You probably know Marshonda and Billy. I don't know. Um,
It's been
Shari.
it's been a moment, but it was
Yeah, yeah,
fun. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's for
Yeah, those
sure.
are some long timers.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, I worked for Tony years ago. Um, I come from the self-development industry, so after working for Tony, I went on and ultimately became the CEO for Lisa Nichols, who was in the film The Secret.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, I've been
Nice.
in self-development for about 20 years at least. So very grateful. When I stopped doing that, I started a speakers agency. So I'm the founder of Authentic Speakers Agency, where I work with professional speakers, authors, writers, um, thought leaders, and I help them craft their message as a speaker and oftentimes help them with all the infrastructure of their business on top of that. So that's a little bit of my background. I'm an author as well, which feels kind of cool to say that. I have a book called The Blueprint to Finding Your Authentic
Shine on,
Voice.
Denise. Shine on.
I'm working on my second book, which, oh my gosh, labor of love. So let me just tell you, sometimes God tells you to do something. I feel like he talks to us and we act like kids. You know how you tell your kids that you want the room clean and they go do one thing like take the trash out and be like, I'm done. And you're like, wait, did you clean the room? Yeah. And you go in there and like nothing's been done. Like that was me. So he told me that I was supposed to write a book. and I knew what the book was about, supposed to be about, but I was so nervous about being judged that I bowed out, right? So kind of the backstory is God, I say he kind of taps me on my shoulder. First he whispers and then he gives me a little tap and then he grabs me by the shoulders and he shakes me. So he was like, you're helping all these people write their story. You need to be writing yours. So I was like, yeah, I know one day I'm going to write a book. And I decided I should just write a book about the speaking industry. I know about that.
Yeah, Denise, I'm going to hold you to that because the reason I said is this is the second time in a few weeks, like I've been reminded. I also have 5 books I'm supposed to write. Sam knows this because
there you go. It happens for a reason. It happens for a reason.
Come on
Thank
now.
you for that,
I
Denise.
also have he already gave me the 5 title for the book, and he gave me the first book, literally book of content ready to do. I've been sitting on that thing for 3 years now, so I'm with you. So you and I gotta keep each other accountable for this, man. So I'm gonna do the first one this year, and I published 2 books as well too, but not the way, because I'm an IT guy, so we did something technical. But my point is we got to connect on that. Keep each other honest. We're gonna go for that, okay? Because those are the key things. That's why we started this group. Me and Sam want to talk about this because we do have that nudging, Because Sam and I met in this workshop, not Tony Robbins, but another workshop, and Sam and I was in the same group, and Sam and I immediately connected. I have no idea why. And I'll be honest with you, I barely remember the workshop. I'll be honest with you, but I knew I was supposed to talk to Sam. That was it. That's how it goes.
How life works. That's how it works.
Yeah. I'm glad you show up.
Yes. Well, thank you. I had got up early one morning and I'm like drinking my coffee and I'm having my prayer time and I'm still hearing this, like, you need to write this book. So I said, look how we get distracted. I said, you know what? Okay, God, I'm going to take some action. Oh, if I'm going to write a book, I need to get professional photos. I can't write a book till I get professional photos. So I text a friend of mine who's a photographer, right? And his wife is a singer. His wife is a lady named Letticy, and her husband is a photographer. So I text Ron, and I'm like, "Hey, Ron, I need to get some professional photos done, and I have a feeling in the future I'm gonna write a book. So maybe I need a picture for the back of the book." So he's like, that sounds good. Send me like a mock-up of the type of photos you want. I send him a little vision board of like the type of photos I want. And then I go back to bed. I wake up 2 hours later. Now the whole house is awake. I'm looking at my phone and I have an email that says book offer.
Ooh. There you go.
I open it up. A company emailed me saying, we want to talk to you about a book offer. I'm like, oh, okay. This is one of those, hey, can we connect with some of the people that you represent and do a collaboration book like Chicken Soup? That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I booked the appointment, like, yeah, let's talk in 2 weeks. I'm so flippant about it because, like, I know they want to pitch me, right? This is what I'm expecting. So 2 weeks roll around. I forget about the meeting till the alarm goes off on my phone. So I step into a bedroom at my girlfriend's house in Rancho Santa Fe. I'm like, I got to take this call real quick. I'm like, yeah. I'm so glad we're talking. I know that you want to do like a collaboration book. I'm pretty sure that's why you're reaching out to me. I'm like, I know Jack Canfield. So, I probably would give him a call when I'm ready to do that. I'm trying to get off the phone. And the guy goes, okay, well, that sounds amazing, Denise. But we would like to know what you would want to write about if you were writing a book. And I was like, if I was writing a book? And they were like, well, yeah, that's why we reached out to you. So fast forward, I did write the book, which is The Blueprint to Finding Your Authentic Voice. And the truth of the matter is the book that I was supposed to write was a memoir. And I know that. It's a story about my life. It's a story about resiliency. It's a story about growing up in a crazy, toxic environment. But somehow on the other side of that, I still came out sane and a person who lives her life trying to put light back into the world, right? but I didn't want people to judge me based on my background. I haven't done anything crazy. I just had a crazy life growing up with, a pedophile and all sorts of craziness. And I didn't want to expose what I call the underbelly of my life. I didn't see any benefit in having that conversation publicly. And as God would have it, I ended up meeting someone who wrote a book about his life. It's called From the Bottom Up, and he went through trauma. And when he heard a little piece of my story, without even knowing my background, he goes, "Denise, your story could be your story is so profound. Do you know how many people you could help?" He goes, "Listen, when I wrote my book, a friend of mine has a PhD. She actually read it, and now students in her class read my book as required reading. And they've done it for 6 years. And I come in every semester, and now they can talk to the 12-year-old me, the 8-year-old me, and they get insight so that when they're doing this work in the world, they have better insight, versus the stories they hear in a book." And for the first time in my life, I actually saw the benefit of exposing the underbelly. We are so judgmental in this society. Which is so crazy how you can be traumatized and still feel ashamed, even though the trauma happened to you, right? Like, what am I ashamed of? But I didn't want the judgment of that. And so now I see that telling that story can provide hope for people that are still in it, which is what my friend said. He's like, "You need to write this book for the Denises of the world that's still in it, that haven't got out of that abusive household. You need to write it for the social workers that don't know how to deal with the 15-year-old Denise that had to leave home and had no biological family." And he started kind of breaking it down. And so, believe it or not, gentlemen, I finished the book right before New Year's Eve, and I wrote the entire book in 2 months.
Wow. Congratulations. Wow. So Denise, let me say, before you break into the second opening notes of that book, we're going to definitely have to have you come back in again on this, because a lot of the things that we have in our subject, the subject matter that we talk about are these things that you are just talking about. Those little things that make you say, "I shouldn't do this. I don't need to do this." How you start to doubt yourself. And that's quite a lot of the conversations that we are having here are about, to help us inspire each other and help uplift our community by talking to each and every person and everybody, because you never know who's going through the same thing that you're going through. And that's the whole purpose of what we're doing. So again, with that being said, our hour is up, folks. Denise, welcome. You're welcome to come back with us next week. We are here again on Fridays. We're just going to come in and just talk and have conversations. We've been doing this. Benji and I started this. We have an app coming out. We have a website, upliftourcommunity.com, that we're working on, where we do everything that kind of flows through everything that we're talking through here. It ties into a podcast and everything else. So welcome as our first guest. And we hope to see you next week. And everybody else, Gordon and Benji, on behalf of myself and the team here, we will see you guys next week.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.